Hi, I'm Jeremiah Graves. I'm the project lead of Plushy Night. From the beginning, I would tell people that my management style is based on sort of 3 R's, relationships, responsibility, and respect. But the bedrock of all of that is relationships. Without understanding the people on your team and without them being able to understand you, I don't think you can really get anywhere as far as motivating them. It helps if you can do it without being false. It helps if people really understand that you care about them. It's about them understanding that in the long run, I'm concerned about where their careers are going and how they're going to develop as individuals and as developers and as artists and as programmers and as designers. Hopefully they understand at the end of this that the most important thing for me wasn't about getting a project lead credit on my resume. It was about developing relationships with them. I think on Plushy Night we have 20 uniquely talented, uniquely passionate game developers and individuals. I think when you work on a project for a long time, you can get worn out on things. If you constantly have someone there to remind you what you're capable of and how talented you are and what we can do as a group, it's another thing that can help motivate you to perform to your full potential. The biggest problem we had to face as a team was when we realized that in an 8-month student project, you can't make a 4-hour video game. So you're not going to make Mass Effect and you're not going to make Halo. If you do things right, you're going to make a 15-minute experience that's really, really great. So there came a time in the project where we had to say to ourselves, we can't make 3 levels of this game and have them polished to the level of quality that we want. This wasn't a me decision. This was sort of a group decision. This was a thing where we sat down with the leadership and said, this is where our game is and this is where our game needs to be and what do we do in order to get it there. Our lead designer, Scotty, he came up with the analogy that a normal game is like a novel. You have 3 acts and the character grows and becomes stronger, and that's what we had planned in the beginning for Plushy Night to be. But with a 15-minute experience, it's more of a short story. It's about one moment that defines this character's existence. So the biggest challenge for us was redefining our scope, taking our game from something that was this epic hero's journey into something that was focused and emotional and poignant. You have 15 minutes in Plushy Night to get across the emotion of a little girl who has lost her father and to show how she's going to move on after that point. I think that's an incredibly ambitious goal. I think it's something that we've struggled a lot with. Along the way, we found pieces to make it work. We didn't find everything at once. So it wasn't like we sat down and we had a meeting and we came out with a solution. It was we sat down and we came up with a plan and we instituted that plan. And along the way, we found sort of a piece that we were missing. And then a couple weeks later, we found another piece that we were missing. The team deserves all the credit for being able to sort of respond to those things and to say, okay, this is the part that we had, and this is the part that's going to replace it that's better. How do we get it in there, and what needs to change? And it was a hectic process at times, and it was an emotional process at times. But in the end, I think it allowed us to do something really special. Ultimately, I would want to work my way back into the position that I am now. I like being a project lead. I like the flexibility that it has. I can usually find something concrete to add to the team, and overall it lets me work with all the individual developers. I get to know everybody on the team, and I get to understand what their passions are and what motivates them and what their career goals are, and I get to help them develop the skills that they need to meet those goals. There have been times when people have worked 100 hours in a week. There have been times when people have pulled multiple all-nighters. There have been numerous work weekends. And without the dedication of the team, without their talent and without their ability to sort of dig down and to say that we have a vision for what Plushy Night could be and we're willing to work hard enough to see that vision completed, none of this would have happened. The last thing that I want to say is thank you to the team for all of their hard work.